It's time for the second hour of Morning Magazine on this Thursday, May 16th edition. We're up a degree. We're at 65 degrees. You know, this hour is sponsored by Central Ozarks Medical Center. You know, when it comes to your health, your first concern should not be, how am I going to pay for this? Or maybe I'll sit at home for a day or two and see if it gets better. You know, COMC understands that they accept private insurance, Medicare, Medicaid, offer a sliding fee scale based on your income and your household size. You know, it's high quality, comprehensive, and affordable health care services. You can find them online at centralozarks.org or call 877-406-COMC. Your health is their mission. Locations loaded in Laurie, Osage Beach, Camdenton, Eldon, Richland, and then opening very soon in Crocker. And this is Tom Kruckmeyer Day, and I get him on because I say it's Tom Kruckmeyer Day, and it seems like a holiday for him, and he loves it, and he buys it every time, so I just continue on. Tom Kruckmeyer, he is an economist, former chief economist for the state of Missouri for a long time, and it's budget time, Tom. It's and we've got a budget finally.
We have a budget. The budget deadline was last Friday, and the end of the session is, of course, tomorrow. And that's a relatively recent phenomenon when the Constitution was changed to mandate that the session end on the third Friday in May, which was a big improvement, actually. And they also mandated that the budget be done a week in advance, so the final week could be devoted to other types of legislation. And, of course, it's good to know, what kind of money may or may not be available. So anyway, today and tomorrow be the last days of the session. But the budget it's in the books. But let me emphasize, there's a lot of things could still happen. The governor can certainly line item veto things that he may dislike.
And often does.
And they almost always veto something. In some years, and most years, in fact, it's fairly minor. But this year, it's hard to say. What the legislature did actually was allocate or budget right around $1 billion under what the governor had recommended back in January. So that would make it, I presume, less likely that the governor would be vetoing. Now, it's important, again, to understand how this works. The governor can veto things out of the budget. He can't say after it's passed, well, I'm going to add this, I'm going to add that. That doesn't work like that. But, and then as the fiscal year begins July 1st, if revenues are not sufficient to meet that budget, well, then the governor is empowered and indeed mandated to withhold money from the budget to keep it balanced. Now, in the current situation, that's extremely unlikely.
Yes.
But over my many years, as you mentioned, working in this, doing this gig, it was fairly common for years when revenues were not adequate and various governors had to withhold monies from the budget at various times. But that's how the system works. And but budget's in the books, and now it's up to the governor and his budget folks to figure out what they want to keep and if there's things that they feel should be vetoed.